Hey guys, and welcome to the Lazy Lemon Creations podcast. I'm Lindsay, and you can find me on Instagram as Lazy Lemon Creations and on Ravelry as Lazy Lemon. This is my podcast where I share everything that I'm up to crafting-wise, knitting, crochet, and even cross-stitch, which you will see today. And also towards the end, I talk a little bit about my life and my books and my family, if they do anything interesting. I live in the heart of the New River Valley with my husband and our 2 children, and that's pretty much it. That's all there is to me. So everything I talk about today will be linked down below. If it has a project page or a pattern page, I will link that. And then everything from hook size, needle size, all sorts of notions, that'll also be mentioned down below per project. So let's get this ball rolling. It is Monday, March 20th. It is the first day of spring. Happy spring. I wore a nice colorful shirt today, and hopefully, fingers crossed, editing Lindsay can get this up before, April 1st. We'll try. We'll try for that. But I wanted to go ahead here and let's start off with talking about our February stats, because I don't believe I have podcasted since February. So we're going to start with our stats, then we'll get into our projects for this month and go from there. So I have my composition notebook here. I had a smaller notebook that I was keeping my stats in, and I realized I didn't like the way I was formatting it. And my ADHD brain was like, you will not keep up with it if it is in this format, so let's change it. So I decided to change it, and I moved it to a bigger notebook, and so far it's working for me. And I do have an extra page here, which is nothing important, but I'm using a Sharpie to write in the notebook, so I put an extra page behind any current page so I don't mess up. But I have January, and then I have all of my stats, hold on, maybe, for February on the page. And so in February, if you watched the last podcast, you saw my realization that I had purchased yarn, and it completely, it hit so hard. Sorry, I just knocked the camera. It hit so hard, and it discouraged me from purchasing any more. And I haven't, to this day, from that episode, have I purchased any more yarn. But in February, my yarn in was 850 grams, because that yarn is worsted weight, and so it's plumper, so it's gonna be more. And so it was 850 grams. And in the month of February, I was able to knit or crochet. I was able to knit 164 grams. So 164 grams went out, 850 grams came in, which means I am negative 686 grams for the month of February. But for the entire year to date, with January stats added into it, I am down negative 514 grams. So I would like to get that back to 0, or even in the positive side of more grams going out than coming in. But in February, I finished 3 projects, 2 of which you can see, and I had 3 whips that decided to carry over into March for us. And so far in March, I only have 1 finished project. I got started on a new project, and it has completely taken my entire focus, and I haven't really done anything else with knitting or crochet, and you'll see that later. And it's my cross stitch project, and so it's not going to count towards my yarn out, but it's what's taking up my time for the month of March. So when I finish March, I will finish its page and everything that goes along with it. So those are my current stats for the month and how everything is going. So let's go ahead and jump into whips. So the whip that you'll see until it's done if I work on it. If I don't work on a project, I'm not gonna show it. But if I do work on it, I will show it. This is in my project bag from MLD Threads. It's just a whole bunch of sheep. Some of them are wrapped like they're yarn. Some of them have knitting needles in them. It's a really cute bag. I absolutely love it. And it has my 3 black Halloween cats in it for my best friend. One second. Sorry, I dropped my crochet hook. So I will show you real quick this project. The last time you saw it, I was right there at that stitch marker. Hold on, it's gonna go like this. The last time you saw it, I was right there at that stitch marker, which is my cute little pink sparkle focus. There it is. It's the state, it is the state of Arkansas. Actually might be backwards. It is the state of Arkansas, and it is sparkly, and it is from Arkansas Yarn Company. Now that I have podcasted, I can move this stitch marker, even though it's been a month, if not longer. I think the last time I was podcasting, it was Valentine's Day, and I actually didn't get this posted until well after Valentine's Day. It's all right, though. I'm going to do better at some point. So now I move the stitch marker. So next time I podcast, you'll see how much progress I have made on it. And I'm working on that when I feel like I want to. I am using Yarn Bee. Here we go. Yarn Bee Soft Secret. It's from Hobby Lobby. It was gifted to me. And I am using a Susan Bates hook. There we go. It's an H. There we go. It is an 8 and it's a 5mm. That blanket, the pattern is from Magic Yarn Pixels. They will be linked below if you want to check out some of their patterns. They're absolutely beautiful. And the bag, I think I said it was from MLD Threads. They're on Etsy. I'll link them below too. And so that is one of my whips. It's gotten a little bit of love, but not a lot of love. I know if I actually dedicated some time to it, I could make some real progress on that blanket and you guys could see it, but I'm distracted by other stuff and we'll get to that. Another whip that I have, it has not gotten any love, but it does have a new project bag, so I'm going to show that off, is this project bag. Oh, look at those colors. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. And it's got the little handle here, and then it has these drawstrings, which look at this. It's not even drawstringed right now, but the drawstring is so stretchy. I love it so much. This bag was, I purchased it, but it was purchased from Kelleyemcd on Instagram. I will have her profile linked below. She is the mom of Maddie from the podcast We Share Needles. So I've watched We Share Needles for a couple of months now. I actually went back and started at the beginning and watched them all the way up until their most current episodes. And so Maddie was showing some of her mom's bags. I went to her mom's Instagram page, was looking at her bags, and I saw this bag. And when I actually saw it, it looked gray to me. It did not look blue, and it did not look this colored. But it looked really cool and really spiraled. It almost looked like a granny square, but in a circle form. And so I thought it was a stitch. But no, when it came, it was so much more beautiful than I even thought. And I absolutely love it. The inside is pink with polka dots. And this is my waffle stitch blanket. I'm not going to pull it out right now because it's pretty snug in there. It hasn't gotten any work, but it does have a bag. And so I wanted to show you the bag. And I love it. And the perfect colors for it. It's absolutely beautiful. But if you want a really good handmade bag, definitely check out her Instagram page. Great quality work. Love the bag. Really appreciate it. So that's over there. Didn't get any work, but it's getting thrown in with the whips. And the final whip I have, no, correction. My next whip is my knit whip. It's my No, it's not. I was about to say it's my only knit whip, but no, I've got more. It is my Felici Musselburgh hat. And so there's all the colors, the purple, the blue, the pink, and the orange. I love this. This specific color is Knit Picks Felici Summer Nights. And so, woohoo. Yoo-hoo, big summer blowout. That is the label for it. I am making this for a friend's daughter. And I will be starting the decreases soon. I think I only have 2.5 more inches to go before I decrease. But the needle I am using is Chalgoo red lace. There you go. And it's a 16-inch needle around, so I can just knit straight and not have to do magic loop. And it is a size US 2, which is a 2.75. And so that is what I use for all of my hats. If I'm knitting it and it's fingering weight yarn or even close to fingering weight yarn, it is knit on that needle. And I'm really wanting to finish that hat because I'm going to film a tutorial for how I do my Knit Picks hats. I have another one that I finished in February. I don't know if I showed you guys. I will try and get a photo inserted if I can, but it was for another friend's daughter, and she absolutely loves watching me knit, and she has asked for a hat, and so I decided to make her a hat, but I can't do it for one friend and not the other, so I'm knitting this hat as well. And as you can see, it starts at the purple, goes to the blue, the pink, the orange, the purple, the blue. It follows through. The colors all line up, and with self-striping yarn, that either takes doing the start, the regular Musselburgh hat, which is by Ysolda Teage, by the way. That pattern will be linked below. You can purchase it on Ravelry. And the start of the Musselburgh hat is a very effective way to start this particular style of hat. I don't like it. I love the pattern. I love the Musselburgh. I love the finished product. I love everything about it. But the make one left and the make one right and the how often you have to do things in the pattern, while it's not confusing, it's, to me, it is very time consuming because I have to always look up which stitch I have to go into and then how to do the process and then do it. And then I'm good for that round. And then when I come back to it, I have to look it up again. And I know that that's no different than slip slit knit or knit two together for decreases or anything like that. If you're not used to it, it's something you're going to have to look up. And I get that. And the more I make with those increases, the better I will get at doing it. But I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna go do that. So I actually have a method that I start like here, for instance. I start here and I do a provisional cast on. And then I knit and I follow the pattern, but I decrease instead. I follow the pattern's decrease for how the Musselburgh is supposed to be done. And I knit, I start low because I want to knit a full color repeat because I want to know what sequence my colors are supposed to go in. And so I'll wind up my ball and I'll actually work from the inside. I'll knit, do my decreases as the pattern says. You will, this is all going to be in the tutorial, but it's best if you have the pattern. Like, you won't be able to duplicate the hat just by watching my tutorial. You will need to have the pattern purchased. Anyway, then I go back, I pick up my provisional cast on, and then I knit the other way, starting with the outside of my ball of yarn, and my stripes line up. I mean, I might have to cut a stripe out if what color I started with and what color my outside of the ball is don't line up, but that's minuscule. And then I pick up my provisional and I knit this way, and then I knit my other decrease. And so instead of one very long increase, because it takes me so long to do it, then I knit the hat, then I do the decreases, I just knit and do a decrease. And also, if you're not into doing that, you can knit knit the whole tube if you want to, and then go back and add your 2 decreases to it. There's nothing that says you can't do it that way. But I will have a tutorial for that when I finish this hat. When I finish this hat, then I'll be able to use my needles and I'll be able to start another one. I've got quite a bit of yarn back here. That is Felici. I don't know what color I'm gonna choose to do my hat out of. I actually want something with, sorry. Ooh. Anyway, I want something with a short color repeat, almost like Summer Nights where it's only 4 stripes, so that I can explain it better in the tutorial. But I have 3 whole totes full of Felici, so I'll find something that works out. That's not a problem. But that is the one knitting project that I have done. And then this last project is going to be both my whip and my finished objects project. No, pause. Sorry about that. Let me show you that cross stitch project I was talking about. So I have it right here. Hold on. I see the needle actively, so I'm going to pull it out slightly so that I don't stab myself with it again. I've done that a time or two here, and I don't want to do it again if I don't have to. So I have, one second guys, I'm sorry. I thought I had it together tonight. I do not. Like I said, it's Monday night and it is 9:42. The kids are in bed, the husband's in bed, and I'm staying up to podcast because what else do moms do? But this is a pattern by Plaid Busilla. I don't know how to say it, but that's what I'm calling it. That is the brand. I'm not sure where this was purchased from. I have no idea where it came from. It was a gift to me, and it was actually a gift to me the year me and my husband got married back in 2016. And it is Paul to the Corinthians. And so you can't read the text. I'm going to try and get it close. Like, it's got the beautiful bow and the heart. And then there is the infamous saying that if anyone knows anything from Corinthians, that's the whole love is patient, love is kind, love is not jealous or boastful, it's not arrogant, rude, etc. And so it's the love never ends. It's this. And Erie and I have been married for 7 years this summer. And if I'm lucky, I'll have this done by our 10-year wedding anniversary and I can get it framed. Because we don't have any wedding photos. That's a story. We don't have any wedding photos of the two of us printed off or anything like that, or even given to us. So it doesn't matter. I mean, we're still married. We still love each other. And he's still the one that I choose every single day. But we don't have anything from our wedding, so I thought that this would be a nice little something to add to it. So my progress, okay, there's nothing on the bottom half, so I'm going to fold it in half so you guys can see it a little bit better. There is nothing on the bottom half, so don't worry about that. But I have the top half, hold on, there we go. I've got the heart and the ribbon on the top half done. I've been working on the outside little stars here and stuff. And I'm also working on a few more of the inside floral pieces because like on this side it's lacking a little bit of green versus that side. But that's what I have done so far. I just think it's so pretty. I do not have it in the hoop that I've been working on. I try not to keep it in the hoop if I'm not actively working on it. And yeah, so, and no, I am not a perfectionist when it comes to cross stitch because like my Aida cloth is like already got a color mark on it right there, which is going to be hidden by the frame that it's in and everything else. But this has been taking up so much of my time and I'm in love with it. I love this. It's beautiful to me. I can't wait. All that text is going to drive me crazy. So I hope you enjoy seeing it because you'll never see it again because I'll never work on it again. I'm just kidding, hopefully. And all that text is going to be very annoying to do. I very much like cross stitch that's full canvas and a lot of actual stitches and not just crossing over words, but it is what it is. I'm going to enjoy this cross stitch because it's for me and my husband. So I'm excited to get that in the works and get that done. I do not have any cross stitch project bags or project binders or anything like that. This is actually hanging out in a bag from Bath and Body Works, like one of the good sturdy bags that they give you when you buy so much lotion and body wash and candles. It's actually in one of those sturdy bags because it's flat enough to hold everything that I need, but it's also not so bulky and I can't lose my needle in it. But I don't have any cross stitch project bags, or if they make them. So if you know of a maker who does bags specifically for cross stitch or something like that, or that's versatile for knitting and crochet and cross stitch, or however it needs to be, link them below for me or comment down below for me or send me a message on Instagram. I would love to know, because if I'm going to work on a cross stitch project, I want to take care of it just like I do my knit and crochet. So if I can get that, I would like it. If not, it can live in its bag that it's lived in for this month and it will be fine, I promise. So then the last project I have is both my current whip and my finished objects. And so back in January, I had started making some socks from my 2021 Hogwarts Advent Calendar that Yarn Cafe Creations and Dragon Horde Yarn put on each year. And I had actually purchased these minis before I realized I don't like mini projects. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I figured out how to make an entire sock out of just a 20-gram mini and a contrast heel, toe, and cuff. So I had all of these done in February. In January is when I did my testing for it with all my weight and everything like that. My Secret Garden socks that I did in January, on January's podcast, my first episode, the socks that I hyper fixated on were for that purpose. They were for measurements and everything that I needed to know for these socks. And I now have 3 done and I'm working on the 4th one. And so I have 3 finished objects and 1 whip that goes along with it. But in reality, it's just a really long whip that's going to take a while. So this first sock that I finished, I don't know if I showed you guys on last podcast, so you're just going to bear with me while I show you again if you've already seen it. And if you haven't seen it, then ignore what I just said and enjoy what I show you. So this is the first sock. And this one is, the main color is threadz Teaches Divination. And the heel, toe, and cuff, I remember talking about these because we say it backwards. We go heel, toe, and cuff when it's completely backwards. So the contrast yarn is by Yarn Cafe Creations and it is Gothic Smoke. And I have 2 100-gram skeins of that to make the heels, toes, and cuffs for 24 mini skeins. So far, my 100-gram ball, I haven't weighed it in a while. My scale's on the other side of the room, so I can't weigh it right now, but it's doing pretty good. I have to say that it's holding its own. I'm not upset at all by how much it is using up, and I think that having 2 skeins is going to be plenty when I actually get to finishing all these socks. But again, I'm only 3 socks in, 4 if you count the ones on the needles. But what I've done is the last stitch marker that tells me before I need to get to my toe, I have punctured the little yarn label with it because it's like a safety pin. I've punctured the yarn label with it, and it has the colorway on the back. Hopefully it'll focus. Maybe not. Maybe. But it has the colorway on it so that I can keep track of what color is what, because I know the movies and the books by heart. I haven't looked at this yarn for the decade and a half that I've been watching Harry Potter and reading the books, so I don't know the colors as well as I know the movies. So until I have it, I'm going to keep the tags on there, and I think it'll be really cool at the end. So that is sock number 1. Sock number 2 that I had done. There we go. This one, it did a weird for me, just because I don't do like gradient yarn a lot. What is that called? It's not called gradient. Oh my gosh. It's totally tonal. No, not tonal. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I don't do speckled yarn often, and so for it to do that pulling, it's kind of cool though, because it's like, it started up here and it is on both sides of the pulling. And so, but when the sock is actually worn, it looks fine. And this yarn, this color, is called Give Her Hell Peas. And whoop, I have it on its tag. That's back here. And it's right there. Also, again, the yarns are split 50-50 between Yarn Cafe Creations and Dragon Horde Yarn. And so they take turns dyeing each day. And so it is one of those 2 dyers who create the yarn, and those will be linked below so that you can check out their Instagram pages and their websites. This most recent finished one, I love this one. It's not self-striping, it's not tonal, variegated. I think that's the word. We're gonna go with it. This variegated yarn, colorful, is, oh yeah, I like that. See, it's not self-striping, there is a hair on it. 1 second. There we go. But it does look like it's self-striping. But as you can see right here, because of picking up my stitches on my heel flap, I don't hardly have any yellow on this side, but I do on this side. So it's just the way that it pulled out together. This color is called Rescuing Mr. Weasley. And again, its tag is right there. Also, it helps me not lose the tags on all of these yarns. And then that gets me into, those are my 3 finished objects. Only one of them, Rescuing Mr. Weasley, right here, was done for the month of March. So, yay me, sort of. This one, the label has been through the ringer because of, I've had it knit up to see what the color looked like for over a year. Because, again, when I got it, I didn't realize I didn't like mini, so I just went straight into it. And then I realized, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing yet. So, this one, the label, it's come apart. You can't even hardly read it because it's like rubbed off and everything like that. But I know this one is called Order of the Phoenix. It was day 1 of the Advent, so I know what it is called. And this is what that yarn looks like. Great blues and greens added to it. A little bit of pink. You can see some speckles of pink in there. Oh, hold on. There we go. But the yarn is just gorgeous. I love it so much. I'm already through my heel flap and gusset. And I have my stitch markers on the side, which you can't really see in this yarn. Hold on, it's trying to focus on me. Stop! I'm not the pretty thing on the screen, the sock is. Yeah. Sorry, the stitch markers on the side are to help keep track of how much to knit before I get to my toe. And I have the rest of the ball in here. And I have the next one ready to go whenever this sock is done. I've already got the cuff started. So when I get to it, I will be making another sock, and I'm really excited for that one. It's a beautiful blue color. I've already looked ahead at it, and so I'm excited to get that one done. And I knit these on ChowGoo red lace. I do magic loop. I typically do 32-inch cable, not a 40. I know these aren't my 40s. They're the red lace, and these are a US 1.5, 2.5 millimeter. And so these are my ChowGoos. That's what I knit all my socks on. So all of my socks are going to be 1.5. All of my hats are going to be 2s. All of my crochet projects are most likely going to be with an H hook, which is the 5 millimeter. And that's what I stick to. I found my magic number. I'm not saying that I can't crochet with a 4 or knit with a 3.5 or even like a 0 or something. I'm not saying that I don't or can't. I am saying I don't. Let me just be honest. I'm not saying I can't knit with it. I'm just saying I don't. I found what's comfortable. I found what fits. If I'm doing a specific pattern and it calls for it, I'll look into it. But it would require me buying a new needle or buying a new hook. And I'm just not that prolific yet. Just who I am. If I get there, I get there. And I would absolutely love a ChowGoo interchangeable set. I'm just not there yet. And I'm going to stick within my means until I'm ready to take that next step. So we'll see how it goes. But that is all my projects. I don't know where the line between whips and finished objects are going to fall. I don't even know if I'm going to edit it in that there's a differential between the whips and the finished objects, because to me, everything is being worked on. Nothing has come to a full finish yet. So, I mean, the individual socks are great, but like I said, the actual project itself is going on for 24 minis. So we'll see how that goes. I also realized as I'm doing this podcast episode, I am saying the word so very frequently. And I apologize if that gets on anyone's nerves. I know a lot of language arts teachers and public speaking professionals will say, find a different filler word or stop using filler words. And my response to that is, it's how I talk. It's how I would talk in person. It's how I would talk on the phone. It's how I'm going to talk on my podcast. It's how I speak publicly. Is what it is. So, let's get into life and what we've been up to. Life this past week has been very hectic for me. Last week on Sunday, my son got sick and decided that we hadn't had to clean up puke in a very long time. Let's go ahead and throw that into the mix. So Sunday evening and into Monday, he was sick. Tuesday, him and his sister had pediatrician appointments for their yearly checkups. We have to wait a year from their last appointment because of insurance purposes. So even though their birthdays are in November and December, I like to throw them together. And when 2020 hit, the beginning, the doctor's offices weren't wanting people to come in. And so my kids' appointments got pushed back a couple of months, which is perfectly fine. For Alara, it's December, January, February, and then we literally go at the beginning of March. For my son, it's January and February. So not much changes. They're still within good measurements. But they had their appointments. They got checked out. Turns out he had a double ear infection. I've never heard of a double ear infection making a kid throw up like that. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But we got him on some antibiotics. He's doing great now. He's a lot better. I'm a lot more tired. But that happened is Sunday and into Monday. Tuesday was their doctor's appointment. Then Wednesday, we had what's known as Awana. And it is a program through our church that is heavily involved with ministering to the children. And so I'm actually a teacher for one of the classes, and both of my children attend. My daughter attends her age level, and my son attends in my class because that's what I teach is his age level. And our church had a flood. Actually, it had a pipe burst, which led to an internal flooding. So our classrooms weren't available, and we had to move locations, and I had to take 8 2-year-olds to a different room, and it was a whole debacle, and that was stressful in the moment. But the way I look at it is, it's only stressful while I'm there. I'm not, how do I say this? I'm not part of the church management. So, like, it's not my responsibility to find a plumber or to move the stuff back into the hallway or anything like that. Now, if they ask for volunteers, that's, of course different, and I don't mind to volunteer, but like, it does not rest on my shoulders. So I only had to deal with the stress of being in a different classroom for the 2 hours that we were in the different classroom. Now, Thursday morning, I am the children's director for our MOPS program, which is Moms of Preschoolers. And it is my responsibility to move us to different classrooms. And again, one of the hallways were flooded and I couldn't use what I needed. So that was very stressful. Still only stressful for the 2 hours that I needed it, but it was a lot on my plate. So between Wednesday night and Thursday morning, I had quite a lot of the flooded church, and I pray that they get it taken care of soon. It's a pipe that burst in one of the sinks, so thankfully it wasn't a toilet that was broken, and hopefully it can be fixed soon. But the carpet got wet, the baseboards got wet, so things are either going to have to be replaced or fixed because of damages. I'm not sure. The church has insurance. They're taking care of it. The church is very good and on top of things. But it was stressful in those 2 days, and you just got to keep your head high, and you just got to put it in God's hands, because it's not my hands it's getting put into. Nope, don't put that on my plate. So Friday was a better day. It was a little easier until I went to bed that night. And I just don't know if it was the stress of the week or what, but I just went to bed with a migraine that I could not shake. I don't know why. I just couldn't shake this migraine. It didn't matter if I was looking at a screen or not, if I had caffeine or not, if I had medicine or not. Like, nothing was making a difference. So I went to bed with this migraine, and then I woke up on Saturday and I found out why I was so sick. I had caught whatever my son had given me. Whatever the new stomach bug is that's going around, it hit me. And so all day Saturday, from about 4:30 in the morning until I finally fell asleep for the night, I spent probably, in a given hour, I spent 45 minutes of it in a bathroom. Sorry guys, don't know where I left off on that. Anyway, Saturday, I got sick. I got sick with the stomach bug. It hit me really hard. So bad that I didn't even want to get up on Sunday. And so I missed church on Sunday, and I'm glad that I took that additional day to recover, because I really needed it. So that was yesterday. I'm finally back to normal. I feel fine now, but let me tell you, that stomach bug, if anybody gets it, I feel for you, because it threw me through a loop. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So, the camera's probably readjusted again due to the card saying that it was too full. Again, I'm going to have to get a new card to do this podcast and just put podcast episodes on it. But, with my reading, I finished Awakened. I am into Destined. I am on the 9th book. And I've got 10, 11, and 12 left to go. So I just started Destined. I'm like 3 words in. I finished Awakened Friday before things started going south. So yeah, that's where I am with my reading. Nothing else really to it. Nothing else really going on here in life except just raising 2 kids and knitting, crocheting, and cross-stitching in my free time. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to like and subscribe, you can do so. You can follow me on Instagram and send me a message if you want to chat. I love to chat. I can talk all day long. I really can. And okay, guys, my camera is being too full. This is a different view. You're on my phone so that I can finish out this podcast episode. I talk too much, clearly. my camera is even like, woman, be quiet. We can't take anymore. Sorry. So until next time, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on my next episode. Bye.